Welcome back, YouTube. This is an update to the Fang build, my Hound of Retribution. I'm going to show some pretty sick clips of different bosses that I've killed. I switched to it last night. We've been grinding in order to get Inferno Tread Max and Inferno Cape. And basically just finish things that I felt like it would be easier to do with a mage build. So I used water Thorns up to this point, and then I swapped over. You could probably swap over sooner. I'm going to tell you right now, really all you need is the Inferno Cape. And you could possibly do that with this Fang build. It is insane. It destroys. I have killed 5 Jads with it, and I'm not that good at the game. So we're looking pretty beefy. We've got some huge stats, over 1 billion XP so far, 45k points, and a cool little fact is if you inspect the Hound or the Fang of the Hound, it spins in your hand for a while. Pretty sick. So let's get into it. I will cover basically what I did with my packs. You know already that this sucks, so it's going to be easier to do it in a off RuneScape system. And then I will also cover some things that you could potentially go instead. I'm almost dead set on everything over here, but you may be able to completely spec out of the fire. I do like having the 3-tick stave, but we will cover that more. Or it's 1 tick, my bad. So it's pretty strong with like the Lithic Scepter. It's going to be good for raids, which I plan to do pretty much all my raiding with this build. I might change it up. I've only used 1 reset. I know, Giga Chad over here. I had my plan. I stuck to my plan. I didn't screw up my packs for the most part. Picked what I thought would work. And we're here now. So let's get into it. Yeah, glowy hole, come on. Come on, Inferno Treads. Please, 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 please. Yes! The grind is over! We are victorious! The last and final piece in order to create the Thanos Gauntlet. Oh boy, I'm Moxley Auto with this build. Basically just one phase in him. Crazy. Oh my god! See you later! Holy hell. Check this out, dude. It's crazy. Bye. See you later, blood. Okay, see you later, boss. By 15 seconds, dude. Didn't even pray. That is so insane. I just beat 4 Jads with a melee build. So crazy. Oh, at 48 seconds to kill 4 Jads with a melee build. Bye. Challenge 5 killed with melee. Oh my god, that was insane. Damn. Yo, look at this. That looks sick. Ha ha ha. This is gonna be my Pact build that I have made. I've tweaked a couple things from the original concept. Not much, but I added some prayer penetration in. It's nice to have when you need it. You, depending on the content that you're currently doing, you may or may not even need prayer penetration anymore. It's really useful against Doom, though, among others. This fire does spread a lot. It may be that it's not as good as it appears, but it seems to do a lot of extra damage. Especially when you're in mobs. You're proccing it, you're getting all these burns, but the hits themselves, like I'll hit like a 20 just with the fire spell itself, and then it burns them too. Accuracy seems to be pretty good. I mean, I went to like necks, was destroying necks with it. Crazy how fast I was killing it by myself. Jads, it's like insane. Basically all bosses, I almost instant delete them. I don't even know if you need more accuracy. But you could try and build into more accuracy and go down here to grab these ones. As well as this one's pretty good. While an offhand item is equipped, gain +5 melee strength, +5 range strength, and 2% magic damage. 2 of those help us out. But the DPS calcs are all wrong. So I just wanted to show this briefly. I know I can be a talker, and I don't want to over-talk. So this is my pack build right now. I may change it into something else. I've been messing with some different packs. So say like you didn't want to go into the fire tree, and you wanted to push more into the Thorns build. Here's one for that, where we're grabbing accuracy and defense because you get a higher percentage chance the more defense levels you have to reflect. And that reflect is very strong. So there are a couple defense nodes you could pick up. Maybe you could get rid of some of the damage. These heal nodes might not even be that great, because it's only 1 health equals 1 tile, although the Thorns does seem, especially when you're getting attacked by a lot, this does proc a lot. You get a lot of healing from it. It's very good when you're getting mobbed. It's not as good if you're facing a single target, basically. There's prayer penetration you could take. Again, I don't think you need more than 200% accuracy, but 40% extra defense, that would put you at like 139, which would give you 13.9% chance to deflect all damage back to the attacker. Things like Jads. It might not proc all the time, but when it does, right? And it seems to work even when you have the right protection. It's like it knows what it was going to do damage wise, and it'll reflect back the damage that it should have dealt had you not been protecting correctly. Don't quote me on that, but I have played a lot of Thorns this leagues, and that tends to be how it looks for me. Because I've gotten some massive hits before, like 62, 79s. I've reflected back like 100 damage before on Jad. And I'm protecting the correct prayer. So I'm not taking the damage, but it's like it calculates out what I would have taken if I hadn't have prayed correctly. And then it reflects it back. Super powerful. You could go into this hardcore with full Justiciar if you took Zaya using a shield and then just trying to find a way to take as many of these defensive nodes as possible. I really like this node. I think this is one of the best nodes in the game because you get healed for 2 and restore prayer points every time somebody deals 0. So when you're running this giga tank gear, it's incredible. You really want Thorns effect. This really does increase your damage a lot. All these different ones, the 50% of your Warren prayer bonus. It's not properly calculating it because I can show you right here. If we go to setups, it's saying 62 and 56. But when I'm wearing my gear and I go check in game, the Bandos setup with a Varix helm is 89 strength. And this build is actually 91 strength. So it's not calcing this stuff correctly. Just an FYI, these DPS I think are way below what they actually are because that's like 30% less strength, right? I mean, that's almost half of what it actually is. So, just an FYI. Like I said, the DPS calcs are totally, and this is, by the way, on Verzik. You know, pretty beefy, pretty beefy defense. Not the best, but definitely weak to slash. So that's why I have it on slash. And this is just to go to show you that with Thorns build, you can do Coliseum easily. This is very obtainable. This is if you took Asgarnia and you've farmed out General Gardor. And then obviously at some point when I get full Torva or Justiciar, there will be more to show you. It's really all I have to say on this. The sky's the limit. If you want more clarification, you can always leave a comment. I try and check it when I can and respond. And to the one guy in the comment section on the last video that told me this build was shit, I just can't wait to show you the montage clips of me absolutely destroying everything and you being wrong, buddy. Whoops. Shouldn't have done that. Lastly, I would like to cover the Devil's Element. The reason I don't think this works well with the Fang of the Hound is because you only get a 5% chance to cast a unique fire spell. And secondly, you only get special attacks some of the time. While as with Thorns, you're applying the damage all of the time. Anytime that they're attacking you, you're getting Thorns damage. And most bosses just get absolutely destroyed. And since you're already an extremely tanky build, because that's what melee is, you get to use tanky armor, your recoil damage is insane. We're talking 27 or more per attack, depending on the gear that you're wearing. And with Justiciar, I'm sure it's even going to be higher than that. I'm not sure. I haven't gotten it yet. So it will also be good with Torva. The Barrow's armor is extremely strong. It was 27 recoil with Barrow's armor, and that was, yeah, you can just really, like, I mean, there's just no way that the DPS can calc out to that with this, you know, because this doesn't guarantee a hit. Thorns guarantees a hit. That's why Thorns is so much stronger. However, when you're using magic with this, and when it's combined with the Shadow Flame quadrant, the Devil's Element becomes incredible. It is very powerful, and I used it quite a bit. So I would definitely recommend using it with like a water build or anything like that, because it will make a big difference. It's just, it's not really good with the Fang. I don't think the use cases are high enough. You do get to spec a lot, but even with that, the DPS loss from using it is just not worth it. I've tested it out on a couple bosses so far, and it's significantly worse. One last little thing here. I figured out a strategy at Commander Zilyana. If you pray Mage and sit on this tile, kind of basically right in the middle, it's right next to this Growler. The Growler will literally splash on you because he can't hit through the Protect Mage. So he'll always be the last minion for you to kill, which means he brings you right back to where Commander Zilyana spawns. Pretty nice. And that way she'll attack you first, and you'll usually just insta attack her back. Makes it really nice. Get a lot of good gear. If you alch like I just did right there, you'll mess yourself up. But you can pretty much AFK this boss. I know I just sort of almost died there, but usually she dies so fast, and then you kind of just regen your health most of the way back. While waiting, while killing all the minions. It is dependent on, I've been picking up the potions. If you had minion right, all this becomes so much easier. You could just AFK all these bosses to oblivion and get a bunch of restores. But one thing with this build is for sure, you will, depending on what you're doing, you will need some prayer pots, and you will need food, which is why Eternal Sustenance is so strong, because it kind of gets over the whole fact of you not having as much to sustain as something like Water Build. But this, I feel like, is a lot more fun to see all those massive numbers pop up. It's insane. Gets the blood rushing every time. I hope you enjoy. If you have any comments, let me know. Give me a like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Help grow the channel and possibly give me more time to do this, as this is just a secondary hobby because I work a real job. Thank you so much. See you next time. Peace.